Hello and welcome to this tutorial where we are going to draw and paint daisies. And I'm saying draw because the first setup I do with a watercolor pencil. It's just a brownish color. You can also use bluish or whatever, as long as you can see it on the white of the paper. I'm using the Arches watercolor paper for this. And what is important in this setup is that we are going to leave out the white parts. So the background will be colored in with the watercolor, and then we have to make sure to paint around the white of the daisies. And on my Patreon page you can find this tutorial in real time, and for a little money you can just see the whole process in real time, so you can actually paint along with me with a lot of tips. And on this Patreon page there are more than 100 tutorials for you to paint and draw along. So feel free to join me there. Now, as you can see, I've drawn the daisies, and the daisies are in a field. I love them. You can see them flowering in the summertime, and because they are so white, they stand out in the landscape, and they are just amazing flowers. What I'm doing now is I make a big petal of a mixture of brown, blue and Pines Gray. And then I'm going to paint in the surrounding of the daisies. So we're sparing out the white. And I have a big petal of this color all together, and I'm leaving out the petals of the flowers and also the stems, the little sticks they are sitting on. And in that way I'm creating a background of green and a lot of shadow, of course. And by coloring in the background, the daisies will pop out of your white paper amazingly. I'm also using a little bit of burnt umber in my mixture, and the colors close by the flowers will be darkest. And well, it's always a little bit of a surprise how the watercolor will dry up, so but we can also always go over it again. Now these will be the hearts of the flowers, and if you watch carefully you can see that the sunlight is coming from the left top. So the hearts of the flowers also have a bright side and a shadowy side. I always keep that in mind, the light direction, very important. And in that way you can make the hearts of the flowers appear to be rounded. And it's important to not have flat hearts, but really poppy hearts. And for the stems of the flowers, the little sticks they're standing on, I'm simply using darker and lighter green. And I also want to draw in some leaves, of course. Some leaves, and also for the sticky parts and the flowers or the leaves underneath the flowers. They are covered in shadow. So I try to keep track of that too. And then I start putting in some shadows in between the white petals of the daisies. And well, daisies are white, of course, but in between the whites there are a lot of colors also going on. So we have shadowy parts in the white petals, and we really have to make sure that we paint those in. Otherwise we just have a white circle, of course, and well, that would not be something much to look at. So well, just tip in, and I'm not making an exact copy of my reference picture, not at all. It's just a nice reference I found on Pinterest, and I just wanted to try it out, just make my own impression of it. And this is the Jelly Roll Pen. It's a jelly white, and you can put in some little dots on the hearts of the flowers to make them, well, make them a little bit more ruffed. And I'm also using, excuse me, I'm also using white gouache. White gouache to make some petals or some nice branches stick out. So that also the background isn't that boring to look at. I want to make it as lively as possible. And what you can also use, and I love to combine different art material in my drawings and paintings, is the alcohol markers, or you can use brush pens. They have a very fine tip, and with a very fine tip you can easily put in some nice fine little detailed lines to make the petals pop out even better. So always feel free to use whatever material you want. If you wanted to make a watercolor, you don't have to stick with watercolor only. Always feel free, if you need it to get the message across, to use different kinds of material. Well, a little bit more shadows here and there. I'm trying to get the feel of the light coming from the left top. And well, watercolor always tends to dry up a little bit lighter than what it is when you first put it in. So I usually, as my painting continues, I usually go in again and again and again, sometimes 3 layers or something, just to make sure that the dark areas really are dark, because I need that contrast. I need the whites to be as white as possible, and the darks to be as dark as possible, to get the biggest contrast I can get, to make well, a convincing and a nice to view end result. And if I'm not too pleased with some darker areas, I simply go over it with the white gouache. The white gouache really is white. Mine is by Winsor & Newton, and well, they can make a big difference, and they give a little bit of body to the petals. So it brings a liveliness to my paintings that I like. And well, the white gouache also can be used for the little flower here on the left that is still not open. It's a young one. And well, then you have your result. So feel free to watch the whole process on my Patreon page, along with a lot of other tutorials if you want, for just a small price. And I want to thank you for watching, and see you soon.